It's hard to believe that in a place as noisy as this, there exists a place as quiet as this, but there does. It's called the Medway Valley Heritage Forest, one of the rarer jewels in London's crown of nature's bounty. Carved by the Medway Creek over thousands of years, it's a place of wild, at times exotic beauty and timid creatures right in the heart of a city of 350,000 people. Medway Creek gurgles into London through the Sunningdale Golf Course in the north, flows south and then east until it empties somewhat ingloriously and without much recognition into the Thames River near the main gate of the University of Western Ontario. Over its 6 or so kilometers within the city limits of London, the Medway flows under bridges, past fancy homes, through picturesque meadows, nurtures thirsty birds and other wild critters, provides walking spaces for recreationalists, sustains an amazing array of wildflowers, and even, near the end, becomes a city slicker with fancy pants. This is the story of a creek and a forest, and their many, many beautiful faces. Sunrise in the Medway Valley. The warm light of a fresh dawn cloaks the creek and its surrounding meadows and forests in a mystic haze of photogenic delight. Sunrise also presents the best opportunities to spot the wildlife resident in the valley. It might be a mallard duck feeding around the rocks and rapids. It might be a rare beaver swimming home after an all-night tete-a-tete. It might be a curious rabbit that can't resist eyeing a stranger before hopping home to bed. It could be a wary doe and her fawn munching a breakfast of meadow grasses before heading to shelter deep in the forest. It could be any one of the countless early morning songbirds like this robin, waiting for an unsuspecting worm. As the sun rises, a vast and ever-changing seasonal bouquet of wildflowers tilts colorful faces towards the sky. As the temperature rises, so too does the pace of insect activity throughout the valley. A bald-faced hornet gathers pollen from Queen's Anne lace in the meadow. Its huge football-shaped nest is more than a kilometer away, hung from a maple tree. All this activity supports a queen, which will lay eggs in the fall before the nest is abandoned. They will hibernate until spring, when a new season of nest building begins again. A hummingbird clear-winged moth is hungry for nectar too. Note the way it curls its proboscis and then whips it back into this bull thistle. And watch this lesson. In nature, as in life, sometimes the little guy really does win. The tiger swallowtail butterfly makes use of its proboscis to drink from a puddle. And as for these two dragonflies, shh, let them just enjoy the moment. A host of birds, small and large, call the Medway Valley home spring to fall. An American goldfinch finds a tasty lunch in the seed pod of common goat's beard. I'm out of here, mate. You coming? Not yet. I think I'll take the elevator. In a pond at the edge of the valley, a great blue heron stalks lunch. Frogs could be on the menu today. A leopard frog's natural colors and spots are its defense against predators. Jumping skills help too. A northern map turtle sunning on a rock is one of 3 species of turtles in the Medway. All are threatened by habitat loss. That threat comes from humans, the largest animal by far in the Medway Valley. We run, we walk, we ride through the woods with reckless abandon. We stop and smell the flowers. And as we do, we leave behind our mark and our bottles and cans and garbage. The human presence isn't new. The woodland slopes and waterway of the Medway have been used by Aboriginal peoples for thousands of years. More than 500 years ago, an Attawandaron village, now recreated, stood at the site of the London Museum of Archaeology. The annual powwow might have sounded like this. Starting about 200 years ago, European settlers logged and farmed the valley, and later some turned it into fine homes like the Elsie Perrin Williams Estate, or places of higher education like Westminster Hall along the banks of the Medway. Farming in the valley stopped in 1945, but urban development continues to crowd the edges of the 300 hectares set aside for the Medway Valley Heritage Forest. And the human threat continues to expand. At the bottom of this meadow, City of London officials now want to build a bridge across the creek that would stab into the heart of the Medway. It would be 9 meters wide, like this one farther north, wide enough to carry trucks and other equipment across the water. An access road would bring more people and their pets, and more troublesome, their toys, into the forest. A decision is pending, and the fight continues to maintain the Medway as a place of natural peace and quiet. As the days shorten and the nights chill, the Medway once more begins a wonderful transformation, and there's a new urgency in the air as the berries and nuts and seeds ripen. Squirrels are busy gathering and storing, and sometimes digging up and restoring the annual bounty of nuts to last the long winter ahead. Birds are fattening up on the bounty of wildflower seeds before their long southward migration to sunnier climes. It's a season of ravishing color and untold beauty that foreshadows a slow, dignified death. Soon the snows will come, the creek will freeze over, and the forest will sleep until the warmth of spring again awakens our rare jewel in the crown of nature's bounty, the majestic Medway.